What's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of the short movie is What If Naruto Was Reincarnation of Superman and Was Neglected. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted movie and shout out to my boy AnimeBoy666 for suggesting me this idea. I'm back on track and hopefully I will be making most of your guys' ideas again. Hopefully, finger crossed. And aside from that, the Superman is not going to be from any other universe, but from the Injustice universe. So, yeah, it's going to be an evil Superman. So, let's just pray that his enemies suffer less. But then again, you know that I'm gonna make them suffer even far worse. Even more far worse than Injustice. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. And make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Roll the intro. Story begin in Konoha Gakure no Sato, 6 years after the Kyuubi attack in Namikaze Uzumaki household. As we go there to see that a kid was laying on his bed, crying and covering his stomach, where there were a huge amount of bruises. As this was all because of the people in Konoha beating him, and his family, whenever he told them, would just yell at him saying that he was now lying. And today was the day when his mother even slapped him across the face, adding on to his own pain and even more so, and sending him to his room without any food, which he hasn't eaten for the whole day yet, without her knowledge. As Naruto was crying and just frustrated, why was this happening to him? What has he done to deserve this? All of this hatred from people in Konoha, from his own parents ignoring him, and his siblings just looking down on him. Where did things go wrong? What did he do wrong? He did not knew any of it. And he fell asleep crying like that in the night time. Now up we go towards the upper realm where we see Kamiyami and Shinigami, who were now very much displeased by the turns of events of this universe. This universe of Naruto has crossed way too much bounds that they have placed on their child of prophecy to suffer. They have crossed the line way too much for which we have decided. Yes, you are right, Shinigami. So what is it that you think we should do? I think it is time to use that I have suggested to you in the past. No, that thing is quite dangerous, and you know that thing could rival us, right? And that thing was given to us to be kept in imprisonment, not to be sent down to given to him. It could corrupt him. You say it like that, but we know that it's not an it, it's a he. His name was once held and regarded as a hope, but all he brought in his timeline was nothing more than terror, shock, and destruction. Do you want that to happen to this universe? For all we care, this universe is damned, sister, said Yami, looking towards Kami, as Shinigami nodded behind her. It's time that the kid gets something in return for what all he has suffered for. And to channel out that energy, we need some motivation for him to get up. And that motivation will come in the form of the power of being invincible, the power of doing anything he wants, the power of Superman. As after that, we go towards a huge prison where a huge amount of chains were tied to a being whose black hair was long and has grown a huge amount of beard as well, as his eyes looked up. So what brings you three in now? I thought I was to be imprisoned here for all eternity, after Bruce sent me here, alongside Dr. Fate. That may be true, but you, we know, have some bit of the old self within you, even aside from the monster that you have become after losing your family. What makes you think that? Would you like to help out a person? No, a kid, who has seen nothing more than in a short amount of life, sorrow and hatred, and even has gotten beatings to no end. Who are you talking about? His name is Naruto. And why would I help him? Last time I checked, I was nothing more than a monster. And last time I tried to help the world, I turned into a tyrant, and they did not like that one bit. But in this world, we are requesting you to do so. Even though they will be aware that we have let you out, but you are doing our bidding. And please, we request of you this. The gods of Shinto Pantheon requesting me this. They're prisoner. What could be so wrong that you're requesting this? As Kami and Yami looked toward Shinigami, as the three of them nodded and showed, well, Clark everything he needed to witness until his own guts were wrenching. He knew he has done a lot of bad deeds, but doing this to a 6-year-old, was something that he himself wouldn't do. What the hell is wrong with these people? He said as his eyes glowed red, as his rage was again boosting up. The same rage that caused him to turn into a monster, and the same rage that caused him to be here locked up instead of being the symbol of peace and hope that he was supposed to be. As after that, he said, fine, what I have to do, all you have to do is reincarnate into him with your memories and your powers, and you will blend and become one with him. But you know that the kid might get corrupted, right? Ah, so you know about that concept. I thought that you wouldn't know. I know myself. I was too corrupted by my own power, thinking that I was some sort of god or something. But I don't wish for this kid to have the same path and same amount of personality as me. But this kid has known nothing more than hatred. What makes you think that he could change? What makes you think that you can change after everything you have lost by your own hands? That is what I'm trying to say here. Please send me there, but make sure that my personality do not influence him over too much. Okay then. We will see what we deem fit. Alright, I trust your judgment. When do we begin? Now. And in an instant Clark's eyes widened as he disappeared in the glowing light. As next time he woke up, he was in a bed. And his body was completely healed now with the sun rays that was shining through his window. Huh. So I really am reincarnated, he said as he got himself up, as there was a huge mirror in front of him, as he was seeing himself there. As after that, he got up and got dressed and went downstairs to see that his siblings were there beforehand. Well, look what the cat dragged in, Mito. It's our stupid idiot older brother. What do you want? Naruto said in a cold tone. Oh, am I supposed to be scared or something with that tone of yours? Remind me again, Mito. Who are the clan heads of this clan? It was supposed to be this idiot, but that went to us. Us two. We have the power to banish you. Alright? Go ahead, do it. As this caused them both to go into shock. Wait, what? Are you serious? We can't do that, you remember? Go ahead. I'm fed up with you anyways. It might be best if you do it now, so I won't feel remorse for my later actions. You're threatening us? I'm promising you, I don't do threats anymore. Naruto said with a smile, and that is when Minato and Kushina entered. What are you all doing? As Minato then said, Naruto was threatening us that he will leave the clan. What? Naruto, apologize. I'm not gonna do any of that. Are you only going to listen to their side of story and not mine? You have been lying to us, Naruto. We know that you will be lying. Alright then. I'm not gonna apologize though. If you don't apologize, then you are out of this house for the whole night. Fine. Well then, goodbye. And in an instant, Naruto went to the door and closed the door shut, slamming it and causing cracks in the door, before disappearing altogether, as Minato went to see that there was nothing there. What's gotten into him? Said Kushina. He's usually quite, fidgety and is willing to do anything we tell him, but he was cold and his eyes, they were different. Menma, Mito, said Minato, tell me the truth. It is the truth we're telling you. I mean the truth. Do you wish me to check the seals that I placed in here? They can tell us the truth. All of it. You can go ahead, check as many as you want. We're telling you the truth. He was threatening us. Fine then. Let's go to the living room. As after that, Minato didn't go anywhere. Instead, his family and him sat down and they all watched the seals that they were placed and what they have recorded yet. And what they witnessed shocked the parents to the core and made the siblings embarrassed. What Naruto was telling them all these years was true. The people beated him, and it was their siblings who caused the prank and blamed all of it to him. And he was the one who was on the suffering end, which caused them to go into deep grief, and they got up enough. I have seen enough, Minato. We should go and search for him. Yeah, you're right, we should. And as for you two are grounded. You should know what you have done to your brother. It was wrong of us to give these titles to you. We're taking those titles back. You're no longer the clan heads. What? But why? All because of him? He's nothing more than a failure. Who said that? We only focused on you because you only possess the chakra. We did not want you to rampage like wild animals, only to be later put down. That is why we focused on you and not on him, because we knew that he could take care of himself. He said so himself when you were younger. He was so happy when you were born, and this is what you do to him now? As after that, we see Minato dashing away after saying those things. And he was remembering all the mean things he has said to Naruto, and how he even went as far as to yell at him at one time, saying that he was constantly fed up with the lying of Naruto and all. But no matter how much he searched, he couldn't find him. His feelings were being crept inside of his heart, until the next morning came and finally Naruto returned, and was entering the house, and was stopped and shocked to see that his father was there with dark eyes circles. Naruto, you're back. I thought that, well, he told me to go away for one day. I'm only back because I need my stuff to leave. I forgot in a hurry that I had some stuff here of my own. If you don't want me here, I'll be packing those up and leaving. You don't have to worry about anything, to be honest. No, son, stay. Sorry? You know, after 6 years of continuous abuse and pain, that is how much I live, Minato. And suffering more than enough. I'm tired of all this bullshit. I'm done. You're not ever recognizing me as your son, so what's the point of all this bullshit? You're trying to get rid of your guilt. No, son, I am not. Then what are you trying to do? Be a father to me? I don't need you. I never did. So what's the point of having you in my life now? When you weren't there with me in my toughest times. As after that, Naruto went upstairs, grabbed his bags, and opened his window, only to fly away, without ever looking back at the village. So long, Konoha. I will be back, and only when it is time to burn you to ashes. As Naruto's eyes glowed red, complete red, before bursting into the sound barrier speed and disappearing out of the eyesight. You see, what happened was, with Naruto yesterday, of how he activated his powers was, Naruto went into the forest of death. As he finally arrived there, and was calming himself from the adrenaline he was feeling. He was finally fed up with his family, and there was some sort of rage that was driving him to say those words. Why did I say those things? And that is when he heard a voice from his mind. Because I wanted you to say those things, kid. Who are you? Come to the Mindscape. A third voice said. Everything will be told to you there. How do I do that? As after that, with force, Kyuubi himself summoned Naruto inside. As Naruto witnessed two beings standing in front of him. One was a huge, gigantic fox with 9 tails, and the other one was a being that was floating with a red cape behind him, covered in shadow, as the being landed in front of him. Hello, Naruto. I am Kal-El, or at my world known as Clark Kent, or Superman. What? What do you mean? I have 3 names. And, well, my last name was supposed to be the symbol of hope, but it turned into a symbol of fear because of what I have done. And that was bad. I did not have any reason to do it though. I was suffering through loss and grief. But you have every reason to have this power and to destroy them. But let me ask you this. If I was to give you my powers, which are incredible, what will you do? I would help those who are in need. And I will destroy those who hurted me. Good. You're to not take shit from anyone, kid. You are your own person. I am my own. And I'm lending you my powers because I've seen what you have been through. And that is the only reason why I'm here, as a gift from Kamiyami and Shinigami. And we are to merge together now. What? What do you mean? That is the only way you will have my powers. What will happen to you? As Clark for the first time smiled, a genuine smile that usually Superman used to give. I'll vanish. Only you will remain with my powers and my knowledge. But remember this, whatever you see, remember this, I was turned into this because of the grief of loss. And I want you to promise me you will not follow me in my footsteps. because I went on a warpath against my own friends and my brother, who in the end was able to win, but it was at a huge cost. So promise me that you wouldn't follow my footsteps. I promise. Good. Now, let's fist bump, kid. As he brought out his fist and Naruto bumped his huge fist as well, as suddenly Clark began to disappear. Well, congratulations on being the Superman of this world. A symbol of hope for those who are in need, and a symbol of terror for those who are, well, terrorizing the others. And after that, we see that Naruto woke up from his mindscape, and he witnessed that he was falling down from a huge tree branch on which he was resting, only for him to did not fall down face first or anything. And when he opened his eyes to see that he was floating, and then his memories kicked in, the memories of his other counterpart, his reincarnation. And Naruto was able to gain the knowledge of what Superman was trying to imply, how he turned from a symbol of hope to a symbol of terror. Naruto then realized that he could make a bridge between these two counterparts, one constantly fueled by hatred and rage, one the symbol of hope and calmness and light. He could be both, but he had to channel the energy of both and make them live in harmony, and that was his task. And that is why we see him currently after the flashback departing from Konoha, where only his negative emotions were bringing out again and again. And after that, we go towards Minato and Kushina after 3 years of time skip. It has been 3 years since Minato has witnessed his son leave him, and he couldn't do anything to stop him because he was shell-shocked what his son has said to him and what he has witnessed. In a mere brief of moment, his son's eyes were complete red. They were complete red, not like the QB red. They were different. They were somewhat more dangerous, somewhat more threatening. Something that froze him in his spot. Something sinister that he watched that day. And to this day, after 3 years, it bugged him. He didn't have the guts to go out and look for Naruto himself. And that is why we see him currently sitting in his Hokage office after 3 years when his son and daughter arrive. Hey Tojan. As both of them have calmed down during the course of 3 years at the age of 9 and have somewhat regained their composure and have been matured for their age after Naruto's disappearance. We wish to take the Genin test. For the last time, Menma, you're not allowed to. You know that with everyone else you're going to be Genins. We're not gonna allow these tests to happen any longer. We have banned these tests. But I wished for this test to happen. I want to go out and search for Nissan. Menma said with respect and sorrow these words as Minato sighed as well. You know that I cannot allow you to do that. Naruto has gone off somewhere that we cannot fathom or imagine. All you can do is just rest and train as hard as you can, he said with many more sighs while he was talking. He was continuously tired whenever Naruto was brought up because of the emotions that were welling up, and he was trying to control them. He was just tired and weak of it, of losing his son because of his own deeds and the deeds of his people. And after that, both of the children then glared at him. Please, we have to correct this mistake, Tochan. We caused all of this. We want to change that. I want to change that. I realized my mistakes, what I have been trying to do. I thought it was for fun and prank, but it wasn't. It was hurting him. Well, it is too late for that, isn't it, son? As Menma was shocked when his father said these words. It's never too late, Tochan. Please, you said so yourself. It is, I suppose, in this time, he said, getting up and looking towards his village. Now, as you're instructed, leave. Please do not push me to force you to. Hi, Ukage-sama. As Minato closed his eyes as tears fell down, he knew that he has lost respect from his 2 other children as well. But in the end, he knew it was best for them. And as for Naruto, he prayed. He prayed that his son was fine and healthy wherever he was. As now we go towards Naruto, who we see currently meditating at a huge rock while a huge amount of waterfall was falling on top of him. As he was trying to currently activate his chakra all under the guidance of Kyuubi no Yoko, who we later learned in the course of 3 years His name was Kurama, and he has become somewhat of Naruto's mentor and father figure over the course of 3 years, and has been teaching him to balance out his hatred and his other half, like yin and yang coexisting together. And so far, Naruto's training has been successful until he heard a snap, and his eyes opened, and in an instant he was floating in front of the figure, gripping it by the neck. Jiraiya of the Sanin, huh? What a pleasant surprise. What do you want from me? Listen to me, kid. Can we talk peacefully? You know that I have mixed emotions about Konoha still. What do you want from me? You were meditating, and I thought that I would try to talk to you about something. Please. Does anybody know about my location? Have you told anyone? No, I haven't yet. Good. Let's keep it that way, and I might just listen to what you have to brag about. Phew. Thanks, kid, said Jiraiya as he was now finally freed from Naruto's grip, as both of them were now seated nearby a tree under its shade. So what do you want to talk about? Naruto said after wearing his clothes, which were quite ragged, but this was all he could wear now and afford. Kid, would you wish for me to train you? Why? Last time I checked, you were the one who said that I was not that much important, if I remember correctly, when I was at the age of 3. You said that I wasn't the child of prophecy since I only possessed soul of the QB. It wasn't important. So what makes you think that I will take your deal? I know that something is up with you. What is your agenda, Jiraiya? As Jiraiya for the first time was shocked that the 10-year-old was able to figure out that he has some hidden agenda. Okay, fine. You got me. It's the prophecy. What prophecy? You might be the child of prophecy. What the hell is this prophecy and the child of prophecy bullshit? I thought at first that it was Menman Mito. I told your parents and they've started to focus on them both. I was still out in the field, remember? Yeah, and I remember you told them that I wasn't important as well, which they took it to heart and did follow, by the way. Not that I care anymore. But you should care. They're your... Look. Parents or no parents, I don't care about them like they don't care about me. I have my own life and they have their own with their children. Let us both be happy in our own little fantasy world in which we ever live in. As Jiraiya was not quite. You know, kid, you're quite wise for your words. It is bound to happen when you live in a village filled with hatred and nothing else. Even your own family hates you for some reason and blames you for some reason. Naruto started looking away. As Jiraiya said, look, I'm sorry, but it is my fault. And I blame you as well, Jiraiya. I'm not trying to, say that it's okay or anything else. I know that it is your fault that this happened to me, but I'm not gonna do anything just yet. What do you mean yet? Listen, I am training myself. Training for only one thing, and that is to end the war. And to stop one thing in notion and motion. And that is to make children more Jinchurikis. These villages have been making us children Jinchurikis and their weapons and tools for many, many centuries. And for what? We didn't ask for this. For over the course of hundreds of years, there has been many Jinchurikis who have died young, have been suffered the same fate as us, as me. And I'm tired of that, Jiraiya. And I'm gonna promise you this much. If you don't stop, I'm coming for all of you. And I'm gonna not stop until each and every one of you are destroyed, burnt to crisp. As Jiraiya was shocked when he heard this, as he witnessed Naruto's eyes glowing red. But they were different. I don't feel any chakra, he thought to himself, and his eyes were scary. Fine, kid. I will bring this up to Minato. You will not tell him that you saw me, remember? Okay. And what is this deal of yours, by the way? Ah, yes, I wish to train you in secret. You have your own choice if you wish to join the Toad Summoning Clan, but let me tell you this much beforehand, they are loyal to Konoha, and I do not wish to be loyal to anyone but my own cause. So I must decline your offer. And for the record, Jiraiya, you were wrong in the first. And if I really am the child of prophecy, then they better follow my one and only goal and listen to it. If they don't, then there will be an all-out war. And I promise you this much, I am confident that I alone can destroy and win against each and every one of your legends and shinobis and you all. With that, Naruto blasted off into the air, disappearing within few blinks of his eyes. My god, he can fly as well. As then he said, Pa, Ma, did you see that? Yes, Jiraiya boy. And I think that he might be the child of prophecy. And let's not forget, boys, said Shima. We might have messed up big time. Or more like Jiraiya here has. Unknown to them due to Naruto's super hearing. Naruto heard this. Child of prophecy. I don't care about this stuff. All I care about is my one and only goal. As I promised Fu. Naruto said these words with sorrow. Because his friend, Fu, the girl he had crush on, the girl he met, the cheerful and embodiment of light, as he saw her in his dead-eyed world, died because of all this madness. Way too young, at the age of 9. Naruto then and there destroyed their whole village. And to this day, it was just a mystery how the whole village was slaughtered, and by some unknown force it seemed. All of them blamed the Jinchuriki who had lost control, but they did not knew, because Jinchuriki's body was never there to be found. Naruto has buried her somewhere safe, and after that he disappeared. He was flying and roaming above the air until he witnessed something going on. As he landed there to see that it was some people that were trying to execute a man who was already bleeding out. What the hell are you doing? Huh. And who might you be? A shinobi? These tricks are getting old, by the way. And who might you be? I am Gato, and this is my land, and they are my people, and he's a criminal who I am executing. He's lying. Please help us, said Tazuna. He has been mean to us. He has harmed us. He has raped women. He has threatened children, and he is a pedophile as well. Naruto's blood was already boiling. And you didn't do anything? He wouldn't let us. We tried, but in the end, nothing. That's my son. He tried to raise his voice, but in the end he was too butchered down. And he's on the verge of dying now. As Naruto looked towards Gato, who was smirking. Now if you know what is best for you, you should leave. Well, do I now? And in an instant, Gato witnessed Naruto's eyes go red, and with his laser, the goons of his, he witnessed them being split in half. And all of them. And dropped down from their bottom half. As Gato was now in shock. All of his money on these people that he has arranged was gone in an instant. His power was crumbled down to nothing. As Naruto began to float, as his eyes glowed red, as he grabbed Gato by the neck. You feel powerful, right? Let's see how powerful you feel on top of everyone. What? What do you mean? As in an instant, both of them blasted off into the air. As now Naruto and Gato were huge high, at least up to so many thousands feet that Gato could see the village. But it was like an ant. Please, please, I'll give you anything. Don't do this, please. How does it feel to be high in the air, Gato? You always like to be on the top right of everything. You're top of the world. I'll bite literally though. Now enjoy the flight. Everything that has been built from the ground to the top, even the most mightiest of the winds can shake them to their core and make them fall. As to say, the bride had to fall. As Gato and his bride went down the train in an instant, and they were nothing more than a splash like a tomatoes pasted on the ground. As Naruto landed right next to him. Vermin. As he looked towards the people, who were terrified, afraid, at the same time had hope. As Naruto then said, you do not need to fear, people. I am here to save you, as I did. You are free to live your lives. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for saving my son, as well as killing this menace. You don't need to worry about anything. You people have suffered enough at the hands of people like these. People who are at the top of everything, or at least they presume to be. This is what they're going to be in the end. Nothing more than a smear on the ground. And I'll make sure if that happens. With that, Naruto blasted off into the air. And they were all just gaping wide at what they have witnessed. Was that a god who came to help us? I don't know. But he really was like Superman, right? Said Inari. You know, we're gonna finish that bridge and gonna name it the Superman Bridge. And after that, 3 more years passed as many more tyrants like Gato has been butchered down the same way or worse. And a figure known as Superman has been placed into the bingo books. Nobody has seen him, but his abilities were very eye-catching and iconic to each and every of the village. Kids from all villages, from minor or from big one, wanted to be him, the hero as he was regarded by the elemental nations people, at least the minor villages people, the people who were in need. But at the same time, the shinobi villages feared him because of his great powers and his capabilities. Now, after investigating and connecting the dots, they figured out that he was the one who destroyed the whole, well, village of Takigakure. But for what reason, they were quite unsure. Two groups were now in lead of it, mainly. One was the Kosuke group trying to recruit it because of the powers that he possessed, which were similar to a god. And the other one was none other than Orochimaru himself, who were trying to decipher his powers to make his powers his own. But in the end, they have both failed. And now we go towards Minato, as a letter has arrived at the Kage summit. And they were all shocked when they read the contents of the letter, since it was a council meeting in which the letter arrived in. What does the letter say, Hokage-sama? Said, well, Mebuki Haruno, the civilian council head. It says that the Superman being has been found, and he has proposed a Kage summit through Kumo and A, meaning that he is chosen a side? No, he wished to speak with all of us, have a few words. He has declaration to make. As that is when Jiraiya, who was present there, had a gut-wrenching feeling. Oh no, please not him. If anybody is other than him is Superman, then oh no, we're doomed. Well, let's just hope, Minato, that he's able to give us a valid reason, and if it is, then we should follow it. What makes you think that we will follow his any reasons, Jiraiya? As Jiraiya then glanced at the outside to see that the thunderstorm was brewing, and in that dark was a figure floating when the thunder boomed, and his eyes were glowing red, meaning that he has heard everything, and when the next thunder boomed, he disappeared. Oh no. You idiots, what are you trying to do? Get us all killed? As within 1 month, Minato has been called there as he arrived there with his entourage, which was his wife and, well, Jiraiya himself. Greetings, everyone is here now, said the Iron Country's leader. Now please set your hats in front of each other and symbolize that we are here to witness a important talk that is only going to remain between us and with us. As all of them nodded. Now please bring the one who has called for the meeting in. As they nodded and the door opened as Naruto walked inside. He had now huge golden hair as a mane, as his blue eyes circled around everyone, until he saw that both of his parents who were there were gaping wide at him, and Jiraiya was sweating bullets because he has seen him, as Naruto smirked. Hello, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Naruto, and I am the one known as the Superman. So you are going around and trying to kill each and every one who you deem fit? No, only tyrants. And I will do the same to each and every one of you if you don't stop what you're trying to do. I know, May, you will stop because I have helped you in the past years. Yes, you know, honey, I will follow you anywhere. Still after that thing, huh? You know I want a marriage with a strong man, and a younger one at that. Albeit, a few 6 years younger? Nah, who cares? As a 13-year-old Naruto chuckled. Well, aside from that joke, now back on the topic. May already is aware of the deal, what my mission is, and so is A, but the rest of you, well, I'm not so sure. So this is my proposition. Stop the wars and stop making Jinchurikis. They only feel hatred and sufferment from your villages in the end. They do not get credited for much more, except for Ace, but he too has to stop this, and he has agreed to my terms, and I wish for all of you to do so the same. And what if we don't? Because it is a necessity, they are our properties. Bijus are no one's property, dear sir. They were given to you by the first Hokage of the Konoha. I'll bite against their wishes, but he made a stupid decision and did this. And even after he did, it was not your right to claim that they are your property. Meaning that I can take them back if I wish, right? Who says that you can? Try your best, kid. We don't give a damn about what you think or do. Even if you are the so-called Superman who has been killing tyrants, I would give a less of a fuck about you. Stay out of our way. We of the Eva will not forget a grudge. What if there is no Eva? What if there is no one left to carry your grudge, old man? What then? Naruto said in a deep voice as his eyes were now red, completely glowing with rage. What then, old man? As now everyone was silent and scared. Tell me, old man, what will happen then when there is no one of your legacy? No one of your people is left to live to tell the tale. Who will carry on your grudge? Who will make another Jinchuriki for Eva if there is no Eva? As Oniki for the first time in his life felt fear. Fear from this 13-year-old that what he has said he may come true because of what he has done to Taki. Taki didn't want to follow that. Because I made the Jinchuriki suffer, my only friend. I made them suffer. I am not pleased with this, but I did. Now, to most of the people, I'm considered as a hero and an icon, but I'm not that. No. Deep behind this all glory that you have seen me achieve is a monster that is hidden, waiting for you to just, tickle him or tease him anyway, and unleash the chains upon all of you. And I promise you, there'll be nothing left in this world except for your ashes and burning buildings and all. If that is what you wish, then so be it. Are you threatening me, kid? You want a war? We declare war on you. As everyone was shocked by this. Please, Oniki, consider this. Shut up, A. I cannot believe that you have gone such spineless after your father. Not spineless. I'm making a rational decision. And plus, Jinchurikis are human beings too, which we have made. Forcefully. Neither the Biju, neither the human are our tools or weapons. They are our tools and weapons, eh? You forgot that? Shinobis are nothing more than mere tools to us. And that is where you're wrong, old man. They are people who are breathing, living, and have emotions, just like the rest of us. And some of you can comprehend that, he said, looking towards his parents who flinched visibly. But most of us do. And I'm happy that some of them did. But if you don't, let's just say that your time is ticking, old man. How much longer do you wish for war? I accept your challenge. 2 days later, there will be war. And I'll be waiting for you in the front gates of Konoha, front gates of Iwagakure, if you dare. I'll be in the center heart of your village. 48 hours later, with that, Naruto flew, blasting through the ceiling and flying away. Leaving Oniki to shock, he can... Yes, that is what I'm trying to tell you, old bastard, and now you have enraged him. And after that, 2 days later, after the sudden abrupting ending of the council meeting, we see that Oniki was now inside his village and was getting yelled at by the council because of his stupidity. And that is when 48 hours passed, and now they were all gathered and completely were geared up until Naruto landed there. As in the dust, they all saw red eyes. And in an instant, huge amount of laser beams fired from his eyes and did a huge circle, killing all of the shinobis and konomichis there. As the elders and Oniki himself witnessed this massacre within the mere of 10 seconds, vomited because of the disgust that he was feeling with himself. I told you, old man, there will be no one left to tell the tale. No one left to tell and carry on your grudge that your so-called legacy is based on. That in an instant, Oniki's head exploded with the laser beam as Naruto's eyes were glowing red as his face was covered in blood. After that, Naruto destroying the village and leaving it in ashes disappeared. And that is what Eva deserved. And, Otogakure's squad as well as Akatsuki squad witnessed. My god, his power. To be able to kill this many shinobis in mere seconds. What are we gonna do? My option to you all is just leave. Leave whatever you wish to do. Now, you have piqued my interest though. Lead me to your leader, he said, talking to the people who nodded after looking at each other. As Naruto was brought there in Amegakure. What do you wish to achieve? Naruto said without even greeting anyone or saying anything, breaking the ice. My option and only dream is to achieve peace. Through what? the Moon Eye plan. Moon Eye plan, a genjutsu, which is called fake, remember? And how long are you willing to carry this genjutsu? Years? 10 years? Century? After that time, you have a big flaw in your plan. After that much of a time, you will bound to be run out of chakra, even if you are the sage of the sixth path or the Jinchuriki of the 10 tails, as you say. But my biggest question is, aside from that, even if you somehow wound up with an unlimited amount of chakra, what will the people do? What will the people do after they die? There will be no one left in your fake paradise to continue this on. And that is when, well, the plant-like creature appeared, Zetsu, trying to claim to Naruto, countering his decision until he finally snapped. It is because I want to bring my mother back, you son of a bitch. The real intentions have been revealed. You see, Zetsu, I knew about you because of the Kurama telling me everything. Every of the Jinchurikis knew. All of us knew. This plan was bound to fail. But we hated living like these things. That is why they have surrendered to you. Gaara did, and many of the others will too. But in the end, it is all for naught. And I am giving you a decision now, all of you. Change your ways of life, kill this motherfucker, and let's end all of this. Because if you want peace, you have to enforce it. There is no other way. And I am going to. And when I do, I want you people to be standing on my side, not against me. And after thinking for a bit, the masked person appeared from a swirl, and you will find us right behind you. If you are aiming for the peace, the true peace, then so am I. Alright then. As after that, Zetsu was butchered down by his own team that he has gathered to free his mother, to continue on a real mission, as now, Naruto, well, has made a point across the minds of each and every one of the elemental nations, as well as the lands in the elemental nations, that Naruto has proven his worth and word and his power by destroying Iwagakure, one of the 5 strongest elemental nations, and helping the other one to rebuild again. And now each and every of the nation was in a tree, and Naruto was called as their leader of the tree, the peace holder, and he was now atop of the world. And 10 years later, we see him finally giving in to Samui, as she was constantly bugging him for marrying him, and Naruto was married to her and had a son as well. And as for Menma and Mito, they never got a chance to talk to Naruto because he was always busy, and Naruto never interacted with them. They were insignificant, as they thought of Naruto at one point. They knew that their brother is going to continue to hate him, but they still held hope, a childish amount of hope that he will forgive them one day. But that day, they even deep down knew will never come. And as for the parents, they knew the same, and they were, well, now being loved and mocked, and so were the people of Konoha who bullied Naruto. But in the end, it was for naught. The newer generation was much better than the older one, and they mocked the older ones. Because of their foolishness, they were all in this scenario, a scenario of peace. As now we go towards the 3 goddesses who were happy with what has transpired, as they saw Clark there standing. So, you're happy with what I've done? Yes, we're very pleased. You were able to convince him to control your monster side and your peaceful side, and to hone it. And thanks to QB's guidance, he was able to. Yeah, I just wish that And a portal opened, and walked out was Lois Lane, and in her arms was an infant child. Your dream has become successful, Clark. There is your family. You have repented for your sins, because you were lost. Now go and spend your time in heaven with your family. As after that, Clark shed tears and smiled. Thank you, all of you. After that, he hugged his wife and his son before disappearing into the portal. Thanks, Naruto. It were his final words, as the goddesses were pleased that their universe was saved, and so was Clark that his family was able to reunite with him again, and so was Naruto that he was able to bring peace into this world as well. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story off, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!